usually, when we make an album, the amount of time that elapses between us finishing the album and it being released isn't that much. So what it means is that when the album's released, we're still very close to it, and it's kind of difficult to be objective. I mean, obviously with all the right noises, that wasn't the case because of COVID and everything going on in the world. So, there was quite a long period of, over a year between the album being finished and it actually being released, which meant that, we've had a lot of time to live with it. So, given that is the state of, or the circumstances around this album, do you think that your view of it is more objective, and if so, where do you think it sits in our kind of history when you hold it up to the other albums?
That's a good question. We don't normally have a lot of time in between recording and releasing a record, so we don't have a great deal of time to live with it, but as you say, it's been ages. So I have been living with the album, and I've spent a lot of time running around the park listening to it, and I think it stacks up really, really well. I think it's up there, definitely up there with our best records, for sure. I think it's very difficult to comment beyond that. I think it's so much more about what other people think of it than what we think of it. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to people hearing it and getting their reactions to it, because we've been waiting a long time to hear. Okay, here's a question for you. There's a lot of social commentary on this album. So how did that come about?
So a lot of the songs on this album deal with, I suppose, what you'd call kind of real issues that we're all dealing with or have been dealing with in recent years. And I think it's hard to describe why I wrote about that, really, other than I always find it easier to write about stuff that I feel strongly about, and a lot of things kind of made me angry in the last few years, really, whether it be Brexit, Donald Trump, lots of things changed in the world, and not maybe for the better, and the advent of social media and all these things. I think our environment has altered that, and it's changed us as people, and not always in a good way. So I wanted to kind of get inside that a little bit and explore that, because obviously you can't write songs about chasing girls forever. It's not right, and you've got to write about things you care about, and obviously I look at the world around me and it gets on my nerves like everybody else, so it's good to kind of try and capture that in the song later. Which songs from All the Right Noises do you think are going to be the most fun to play live, and why?
Another great question there. Very good, Luke. You've been practicing. I think the question is not which songs are going to be the best to play. I think the question is more, which ones are you not going to be able to play? The problem is they're all great. So I think it's going to be very hard to choose which songs to leave out of the live set next year. So here's a question for you. How long did you spend writing this album? And how did you go about it?
Usually albums take me around, I guess, sort of 6 to 9 months to write, and this was probably round about 9 months to write All the Right Noises, start to finish. But I guess in that period, which was between the end of 2018 and the end of 2019, over the period of a year, there was probably only, I didn't spend all that time writing because we were doing other things as well, playing and touring and stuff. So you grab the time where you can in any kind of one period and you go for it. But it's normally sort of 6 to 9 months, depending on other circumstances, I guess.
Okay, that's it from us. Don't forget, if you want to win one of these, as signed by us, enter the competition at hmv.com.
So don't forget, March the 12th, that's the big day. That's the day we're releasing All the Right Noises. And we're really pleased with it, really chuffed. And we think you're going to love it too, so make sure to pick yourself up a copy.
Thanks for talking to me, Luke.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Daz. I have to say I've thoroughly enjoyed it.